you in a minute. Okay. Hello, everybody. So welcome to element 14 tonight, which is transitioning to eating healthy for life. Transitioning to eating healthy for life, which is something when you, in quotes, diet, you don't think about much, right? When you diet, you just think, oh, I'm just going to change the way I eat for this period of time. And then I'm going to get to my goal. And then what's going to happen?
I'm going to go back the way I was.
Yeah, no.
Probably go have a steak and mushrooms and onions with a baked potato and some fries just to celebrate.
And dessert.
And some dessert. Oh yeah, and some cheesecake.
So,
That's what I did on
yeah,
Diet Symphony.
yeah. And do you love the people that say, okay, when I reach this certain point, that's when I'm going to go out and I'm going to eat anything I want for like a week because they feel so deprived, right? They feel so we're going to talk about this, and it's really quite an interesting path that we take, which is very different from any other program, and it is really worth looking at. So we're going to get going, but before we do, for those of you that don't know, I'm Nancy Peterson. It's my husband, Clark Peterson.
Hi.
Um, Clark lost 70 pounds 5 years ago, has kept it off. I lost 45 and have kept it off, which is nothing short of a miracle. So it's the reason we coach, and it's the reason we love to share this program with people, is because it works. What we know beyond a shadow of a doubt is if this program doesn't work for you, it's because you're not working the program. So it's kind of plain and simple like that.
So a phrase says if I work the program will work for me.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I know last week we talked a little bit about phase one. Does anybody know what phase one of the program is?
Is that the 5-in-1?
It can be
Fuelings and
the
a lean and
5-in-1. It could be 5-in-1, could be the 4-in-2, but that's pretty much it, Sue. It's basically the weight loss part of the program. All right. So, like we said, this program is different. It's not just weight loss. You're going to get to a healthy weight, but then you're going to go into what's called phase two. Okay, phase two. All right. So if you have your book, if you guys have a book, it looks like this life book. Okay. It's on page 267. And what it does is basically tell you the different phases of the program. And this is what I want to say is as exciting as phase one is, okay, phase one is exciting because you're seeing pounds drop, you're seeing your clothes fit better, you're going off medications. And I just want to say if you're on medications and you're in phase one, be sure to be talking to your doctor to make sure that if he needs to adjust the medications or even take you off of them, you need to just be in communication, right? Okay. So that's phase one is great, but I want you to know phase two is, in my estimation, I don't know about you, how you feel, but we feel like phase two is more important.
Yes, I think, well, it's as important because without phase two, phase one will not be successful.
Yeah.
Without phase two, what we accomplished in phase one, which was how many know phase one is some work? How many know that you got to go all in, right? I mean, it's great work, it's good work, it's rewarding work, but it's a choice. And without phase two, I would say it's probably more important as if, it's at least equal, maybe more important.
Yeah, because the big bonus, I feel like for our program was the fact that we could keep it off. That to me, that was the big bonus, and the fact that I really had never gotten down to this weight before. I think I was maybe in 7th grade, but so it's really fun to be at this weight now. So here's what you need to know about phase 2. Phase 2 is when you transition from the 5 and 1, like Sue said, 5 and 1, or maybe you're on the 4 and 2, to adding whole foods back in, more whole foods back in. Okay. Now, in itself, that sounds really simple, right? But I want you to know it brings fear into a lot of clients' world because they think I have gotten used to eating the fuelings. I know how to do my lean and green. What do I do now? I mean, you want me to go off the fuelings, but that's scary for me because then now I'm having to add foods in it. Can I control them? Will I know what the portion size is? How do I know how much? How often? The whole thing. That's the beauty of phase 2. It literally, week by week, walks you through it. We do not, when you hit, like say Sue said to us, hey, I'm at my goal. I'm really happy. I want to transition. We don't say to her, great, Sue, good luck. We don't do that, okay? This is the advantage of having a coach. This is the advantage of having a coach. What we do is we say, that is great. Congratulations, Sue. All right, we are going to make one small change this week. And don't we all know that making one small change is easy? If Sue had to make all these changes that first week coming off fuelings, she probably would get derailed. That's what I think. So
yeah,
this is the interesting part. When you go from phase 1 to phase 2, depending on how much weight you're losing will depend on how long it takes to do it. What?
Nothing.
Oh, talking to someone?
Rick.
Oh, where's that, Rick? Okay. So, all right. So say you were losing like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, transition probably would take you 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. And we do a little bit each week, right? Then all of a sudden you get to the end of it and you're feeling, I'm going to mute you, Paula. There you go. Okay. So you get to the end, it's no big deal, right? But if you've been on program for a while and say you had 40 to 100 pounds to lose, maybe more, it's probably going to take you a few weeks longer to go through transition because we want to get you stabilized from where you are right now to stabilizing you to where you're going to live your healthy life. How are you going to add all that in? Okay. So how do you know when you're ready to transition? How do you know?
You get to your goal weight.
You get to your goal weight. So what's recommended is 25 for your BMI. And, okay, here's the and a waist measurement for women of 31.5 inches. The reason they want you to do that is your healthier state because you're getting fat off of your organs. Okay, you want to get as much of that off as you possibly can. All right. Now, when you think about that number, so if you look on the BMI chart and you look at that number, does it freak you out?
So what's the waistline for men? Is it the same? Is the waistline measurement for men the same as women? Do I have to get to a 31.5? Because I am.
No.
Do I have to?
No, men is 37. So men 37, women 31 and a half. Okay. So people look and say, I mean, I remember I felt this way. When I started the program, I said, okay, if I could get just 20 pounds off, if I could get just 20 pounds off, I will feel better. That's where I'm going to go. One of the reasons I said that is I did not believe in my heart of hearts I could go any lower than that. Right? So here's the thing. It's normal to feel freaked out about it. It's really normal to feel freaked out. That's okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to set a goal that you're comfortable with. If you look at the BMI chart and you see it says at your BMI, you should be let's just say Paula. Paula should be 160 pounds for her BMI, right? But she's like, I know, because I don't think I'm gonna be able. So what she does is she's okay, I want to get to 170, I'll feel good. I'll feel good. I mean, I'm just making up numbers. I don't know what her numbers are. So just make a goal, because once you get to that goal, it's not set in cement, guys. You can make a change. You can decide that's your goal. It's all right. If you get down there and you're like, I'm really good there, it's fine. But if you get there, you can reevaluate and you can always change it. All right. But at least have a goal. All right. If it's not the BMI, then do a different goal for yourself. All right. And why are these numbers important? Why are, the BMI number important? Why is the size of your waist important even? It's because when you get close to that or at that, what you're doing is reducing risk of disease. So that's a scientific thing. So scientific data shows that if you get a waist close to that or that, and your BMI is close to that, you are going to reduce the risk of disease. Okay, it's just really that simple. All right. All right, here's one other thing. What happens on your weight loss journey when you plateau? What do you do? Somebody's raised their hand. Is that us?
It's you.
Oh, I'm going to lower my hand. Okay.
You can answer it. Though.
All right. What happens when you plateau? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What do you do?
Well, you don't freak out. That's all I'm going to say. Don't freak out. Don't say this doesn't work anymore. So that's what you don't do.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a number of things. I'm just going to go through these quickly. But first of all, Clark's right. Don't freak out. You have to remember your body's made up of 60-something% water. Water. You eat a little bit extra salt one day, you eat something that you throw in a few little extra carbs, whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily mean you haven't lost weight or you've gained weight. What it means is your body with your water is fluctuating. All right. So don't freak out about it. But there's other things you can do too. Here's some things you can do. Make a decision to use dark green vegetables as much as you can going forward. Okay, that's the lowest glycemic index vegetables there are. Dark green leafy vegetables. Okay, that's number one. Number two, eliminate extra snacks. Have you been throwing in something extra during the day? Just don't do that. And it's going to make a big difference. Okay. Be careful with your condiments. And this is one that a lot of coaches will tell you. It's kind of a little secret of how to kickstart if you feel like you've plateaued a little bit. And that's use mostly shakes or the powdered fuelings. All right. that's going to help you too. I never did that myself, but I know there are other clients that have.
I did.
Clark did, worked really well for him.
Did you say
So-
steaks? I heard the powdered peelings, like the shakes, I guess. But what was
Yeah.
the first thing? Steak?
No, but I love steak. Um,
I was hoping
no,
you said steak.
no, I think we were saying shakes or leafy green vegetables. Yeah. Or watch your snacks. Don't eat snacks, extra snacks. Sometimes, you can have an optional snack. Just give that up for a little bit.
Sometimes condiments are just really easy to not control. I mean, oh, I'm going to put on some dressing, and and it's not a tablespoon, it's 2 tablespoons, or I'm going to put a little bit of, half and half of my coffee, and it's one, it's a lot of half. So just those are easy to overlook, and they have high impact on on how your fat burn.
Yeah. So what is happening to you guys in phase 1 is this. It's called a body set point. What we are doing is we're creating a body set point for you with this. So you might want to ask, what's a body set point, right? Okay, so the definition is it's when you increase the normal release of leptin to balance your hunger and minimize insulation secretion to avoid excessive fat storage.
In insulin, not insulation, insulin.
Yeah, insulin, not insulation. So you know how we've talked to you about how what this program does, the 5-in-1 does, is basically have your body work the most efficient way possible to get rid of any additional unwanted fat. This is what's called the resetting your body set. What do we call body set point? Body set point. So you may say, well, what's leptin, right? Do you guys know what leptin is? Okay. So leptin, it's a hormone that is produced by your fat tissue that regulates your appetite and your energy. So by controlling that and giving you a new body set point, that's why like now we don't really experience like hunger like we used to. We've got more energy. It's because we now have our bodies are at a body set point. Now, Marie, do you notice that for yourself? That your body's kind of operating on a different level?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Marie lost 50 pounds and she's kind of at that point where she's got a new body set point. All right. So go ahead.
I just want to add just a little thing so high fructose corn syrup sends a message to your brain not to recognize leptin when it's released. So leptin is released by your fat to tell you that you're full. High fructose corn syrup has this chemical, goes into your brain and says, oh, you're not full. You're not full. So I just wanted to give you that little nugget there, that high fructose corn syrup is a very unhealthy sweetener. That's all.
Yeah. But it's so with processed sugar anyway.
Yep.
Sugars do that and that's why have you noticed when you start to eat sugar, it's like you want more? It's because of that. Because you're not really releasing that you're satisfied. Your brain isn't releasing, oh, you ate that, you feel good. No, you eat that and you're like, hey, I don't feel satisfied. I got to have more. I got to have more. I mean, I can remember that sensation really clearly, really clearly. And it's really nice not to have that sensation.
Can I ask a question? Do you know if, and I don't know the answer, do you know if that sugar-free or sugar substitutes do the same thing? I mean, when sugar-free stuff, does your body, do we know? I don't know.
What I understand from what we've read and learned is that artificial sugars can do that to you too. It's why they don't want you to actually drink a lot of diet soda. I mean, that plus it's got high sodium, it's got chemicals, it's got all of that. Now, what I don't know is if stevia does that
Yeah, I don't know.
because it's plant-based. I don't know that. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Look that up, Marie. Um, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, try to get this concept. You're going through phase one right now. You are getting to where you're going to get to your goal weight, right? To go to phase two. So basically what you've done is you've done a body set point with phase one. Okay. Now what's going to happen when you go to phase two is you're going to be taking away some of the fuelings. You're going to be adding in some other foods, but you're going to be adding more food than you've been used to eating through phase one. What that means is you need to set a new body set point. So can you see how that's so important to do transition and go phase two completely slowly, because you want to create that new set point for your body so that when you've added in all the foods that you're going to normally eat in a day for the rest of your life, things like, fruits and grains and extra vegetables and all these wonderful things, that your body doesn't go, woo, what's going on? So I think it is, like I said at the very beginning, phase one's important. You want to get that weight off for your health. But phase two's at least as important, if not more important. And it's something your coach walks you through. So what does that look like, right? Basically, what we're doing is we're introducing all the foods on a slow basis of what you're going to be taking in, right? For long-term health. Because the fuelings that you're using right now, they're perfectly balanced. They're giving you protein, vitamins, minerals, all that. So when you start taking those away, again, our goal is keeping you healthy. We want to make sure you understand what to add in to keep that same health that you're experiencing right now. Okay. So that whole process has got to happen. But the big but with this whole thing is, but we don't want to add in too many calories that all of a sudden Paula calls me and says, Nancy, I've gained 15 pounds. And I'll be like, no, so that's another reason we do it slowly. We look at the scale every week, just like you're doing now. We say, okay, we've added in these, tell me, or Lisa, I'll say, Lisa, we added in these things, tell me, where's your weight right now? Because we want to make sure we're watching and seeing what we're adding in, how your body's reacting. Because we want to create a new set point for your body. The reason you want a new set point is that is what's going to keep you in size 6 pants for the rest of your life. Okay, that's what's going to keep you in a healthy weight for the rest of your life, is that new set point. All right, so how do we do it? So it's not like some magical, mystical thing, right? We don't take out our top hat and say, there's your transition. There's two things we do. Okay, there's two parts to transition. First part is we calculate what's called a T, your T. So say Shannon gets to the weight she wants. She says, Marie, I'm at where I want to be, and I'm just going to pull figures out just to give you a sense of it. So I'm at, let's say 130. I'm this tall, all this. And so what Marie does is she goes in, there's a calculator that Optavia has. You can find it if you Google it, just Google Optavia T, that's just capital T E E calculator. It will take you to it. You basically put in the weight your goal weight, your height, your gender, all these things. And it calculates how many calories your body should be taking in a day to maintain the level you want to stay at. Okay. But this is what I want you to know. We don't count calories. Okay. This is just information that helps us when we're guiding you through the process. And it's good for you to know because knowledge is power. You know, that just helps you. So say we come up with 1,700 calories. So Shannon, to maintain her 130, she's going to be staying around 1,700 calories. Okay. That's the first part. Second part is we start adding foods in. So what does that look like? It's just like the 5-in-1. It's so simple. So you basically, Shannon's still on the 5-in-1. So we tell Shannon, okay, it's week 1 of transition. Shannon, what you're going to do is add in 2 additional servings of vegetables this week, period. She says, I can do that. So instead of, a cup and a half of salad for her lean and green plus, would that be a cup and a half? And then maybe, I think a half a cup of cooked vegetables, maybe a little more than that. So instead of that, she's going to have 3 cups of salad and a cup of cooked vegetables. Or what she's going to do is she's busy at work. She's got to go to a banquet. She's going to have a small salad at the banquet plus her normal vegetables for dinner. Okay. All we're doing is adding in some more vegetables. Then we talk to her at the end of the week and she says, I lost another pound. And this is not uncommon. Okay. I lost another. I said, that's fine. That's fine. This week, what you're going to do is you're going to add those additional vegetables in, plus you're going to add in 2 pieces of fruit every day or a cup of chopped fruit. And she's excited. She's excited because she's been missing her blueberries. So she adds in her fruit. She's got her extra veg. And then the 3rd week, she adds in some extra dairy. 4th week, she adds in some grain. So it could be some whole wheat bread. It could be whole wheat pasta. Although I'm so hooked on spaghetti squash, I wouldn't even. But anyway, or she's going to add in maybe a sweet potato, right? So what we're doing is every week, just one thing she's going to change, just one thing. Can you see how that's manageable? It's not going to send you into, and the thing we have to remember is going through phase 1, you've already created all these new habits. You've created these new habits. You've created a new body set point. Your body is losing the weight it doesn't need, right? That's not good for it anyway. Now what you're doing is you're leveling it off to a new body set point by adding in these new foods. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that
Yeah.
feel a little less scary?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I have a lot of people that they say, oh my gosh, what will I do if I don't have the fuelings? They start to use it as a crutch, right? When you go through transition, did you hear that I was just adding extra foods in? I didn't tell you to stop eating 6 times a day. I didn't tell you to stop drinking your water, right? Okay, that's phase 2. We create a new body set point because the whole concept of this program is to keep you at a healthy weight. Okay? Keep you at a healthy weight. And your optimal health, right? Then it's not over on phase 2, guys. You get through phase 2, you're feeling great. You go into phase 3 and we start going to like optimal health. We start talking more about exercise, talking more about cardio, strength training, things that are
Muscle
just
toning.
muscle toning. And I'm not saying we're all going to be bodybuilders, although no, we're not going to be bodybuilders. But we want to be as healthy as we can possibly be to enjoy every day that we're given. So that's it. So, questions? No?
Do we keep during the transition or adding something in per day? Do we keep eating all the fuelings during that
Okay.
time?
So when you're adding in something different each week, the first week you do continue to eat the 5 fuelings, and you add in extra vegetables. But to your lean and green, yeah. But the second week you take away a fueling. Third week you take away a fueling. And then you're left with either continuing with 3 fuelings a day if you want. Some people use those for those in-between snacks. You absolutely don't have to. It's not meant to be, doesn't hurt you. We do because when we're on the road or we're busy, it's just easy, but it does not have to be that way. What we do is we show you what to replace them with. So it might look like a half an apple with a little peanut butter on it. And that's another thing we'll teach you. We'll teach you what a truly healthy snack is. Okay. It's not a bag of Cheetos,
Right.
promise. But not to say you won't have those on occasion, but it will not be your norm for sure. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, yeah.
So you know how you said in optimal health phase, that's where you learn like more cardio, strength training. So I know we're supposed to be doing healthy movements right now, but are you saying we're supposed to limit that? Like I have people telling me, don't do too much cardio, don't do too much cardio. Not in the program, just friends who know that I'm trying to lose weight. And so they're telling me, you get all
Yeah.
kinds of, I'm sure everybody gets all kinds of
Yeah.
recommendations.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive to say don't exercise too much when somebody's trying to get healthy, right? Seems counterintuitive, but actually it's not. So when you are in phase 1 and you're trying to lose the weight, if you start to work out hard, and I'm not saying don't go take a walk, go take a walk. You can ride your bike. That's great. But do not push yourself for a couple of reasons. One is because you're on a limited calorie, basically so that your body's using the fat instead of using what you're eating. What happens is if you start doing too much exercise and your body needs more calories, what's going to happen is it's going to think it's in starvation mode. You don't want your body to think you're in starvation mode because then it will start to hold on to the fat. Okay. That's one thing. Another thing is a lot of times people, when they exercise hard, their appetite increases. So what happens is, and I've seen it happen actually. I've had clients that are like, no, I can do the program and I can exercise really hard. And then they say to me, I'm starving. And I'm like, well, because you're exercising really hard. See, what people don't understand is that doesn't mean because you exercise hard and you reduce your calorie count, that does not mean it's going to take off more fat.
So when
So,
go ahead.
go ahead.
So when you burn calories, when your body burns calories, not fat, but when it burns calories, it goes after the most available calories there is. And those most available calories is the last meal that I ate. And so it'll burn those calories, therefore that won't be absorbed into your body and the fat stays happy right where it's at. So in order to get to the fat, we got to reduce the calorie intake, limit some exercise, not movement, and limit heavy exercise so your body will burn the fat that's stored deep.
Yeah, yeah.
So if
that's
you exercise too much, you said it's not going to burn the fat.
what
It's
what
going to send you
happens
into.
is your body can think it's
Mhm.
starving.
So yeah, I was going to ask about that. I don't know how my body could think it's starving when I am so satiated with so much not snacks, fuelings. Like this morning when I woke up, my brain is saying, I know Nancy tells me as soon as you wake up to eat one of those fuelings, but I'm just so full. And so I couldn't eat right away, even a fueling. I said, well, I'm gonna do some healthy movements. So I was doing some stretching instead, but I was still so full. I didn't want it. It's like I don't want to eat it, but we have
Yeah.
to.
Well, sometimes what I do, Lisa, and I don't know if this will help you, sometimes what I do in the morning, if I don't want to eat a bar, is because I don't feel, I will just put a fueling in my coffee. Like I'll put like this morning I put in a frosty cappuccino because I didn't want to eat anything. So
Mhm.
you can do that. And the reason that's important is what's in that fueling will give your body nutrition
Mm.
and it gives it something to burn too. It gives it
Mm.
something to
Well,
burn.
it kicks in your metabolism
Yeah.
is what it does. As soon as you eat, that's why the program is designed. Science has shown that if you eat within a half an hour to 45 minutes when you get up, it ignites your metabolism and starts at which we want it to be. That's what break fast means. I'm breaking my fast. And so it starts my metabolism and therefore then it keeps it at this level. Then in another 2.5 to 3 hours, I eat another fueling, and so even though I don't feel hungry, and I get that, I understand that completely, completely. Lisa, I totally understand that, but I'm not eating it because I'm not hungry. I'm eating it to ignite my metabolism. Then when my metabolism kicks in, I'm going to get hungry, and then I'm going to eat in 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's like
just to
it.
share,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say just to share with everybody, Nancy knows I'm diabetic. And so I monitor my sugar levels really, really strictly. And it's true, when I eat a fueling, I notice that my sugar actually starts to go down. So I don't know what's in those bars, but there's something that kickstarts the metabolism. I don't know if it's because it's got chromium picolinate or magnesium. I'm sure it has magnesium in there
Yeah, it
because
does.
if I eat
Mhm.
enough, it's gonna make my system very regular.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it does have some good stuff in there. I did notice that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's just odd to get used to something, your body used to something different because it's on this type of system mine was on a 59-year-old system that I was doing and I got used to it and I got used to the feeling. And so I had to retrain my mind and I had to retrain my body to do what's healthiest for me. And that is really what this program is all about, is retraining your mind and your body towards health, what healthy is. We might have thought that healthy was my last 59 years, and it wasn't. And so we're just resetting it, and I'm thankful that my body can do that. I'm thankful that my mind can take a different track and I can create a new habit. I'm really thankful, and I'm a faith guy. I'm really thankful that God made my mind to be able to make a new habit, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, so if you can, Lisa, I mean, it really is the best for you. But I know it can be a struggle too.
Can I ask a question? I just think it's
Mhm.
one that maybe everybody might have a question about later, but as you're transitioning, as you're at the end of transition, what happens if you start gaining weight?
So that's a great question, actually. That is the reason it's so important to be tracking it every week and watching as you're adding things in what's happening. And so that's where you would work with your coach, take a look at what you're eating, because it could be possible that either you misunderstood something and you're adding too much. That's where we talk about what it is you're eating and we look at the calorie count to see if maybe we put too much in. But right now on 5 and 1, you're at about between 800 and 1,000 calories, okay? So say you needed to go to 1,600 to maintain a weight. So we would be looking at the things we added in. So we simply would look at the things we added in to see if we've added in too much of something. So maybe we would say, you know, okay, Marie, you're starting to gain a little of that weight, eating what they said, you know, the 2 pieces of fruit, the extra vegetables, all that. Maybe you want to try with just eating 1 piece of fruit this week. You see what I mean? So that's why it's really, and that's why we can't say that you're going to be completely done with transition in 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. That's what we'd like to see happen. But we want to make sure that your set point, your body set point is where it should be to maintain that weight. And we have to do, you kind of have to be like Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote. You've got to try to be the detective and figure it out.
You know, the TEE stands for total energy expenditure. So that means that really talks about calories in and energy out. So one of the things when I've worked with transitioning people is we ask about when they do that with the T, what is your movement? They'll ask, is it moderate? Is it
Sedentary.
low? Is it or you? And so we might have to in the middle of the transition send you on a walk.
Mhm.
We might have to send you on a walk. We might have to have you do some wall-ups or some push-ups. We might have to add some energy out stuff to burn the calories. So it's all a kind of an experiment to find out where that sweet spot is.
And what's going to happen too is when you start going out of phase 2 and into phase 3, and you've kind of got a new set point, what's going to happen is you are going to be adding in more exercise, which means that you also will probably start adding in more food, right? So you start to learn your body and figure out where it will settle based on how your life is changing.
Great thing, Marie.
Yeah, that was a great question, Marie.
Sounds like you've had experience.
Yeah, have you had experience with that, Marie?
Yeah, just a little. Great answers too. But yeah, I was gonna say increasing your activity is really key once you're through the weight loss phase. It really is. I mean, there's a balance, obviously, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
a good
we
thing.
need to remember that this plan isn't about just the numbers on the scale.
Yes,
This plan is really about total health.
yes,
So
It's about living your life, your best life.
Yeah.
And
that is true.
that's a big circle.
all right, well, we're going to wish you a great week, and sure I'll be talking to most of you tomorrow. or at the least Friday. And Lisa, I am sorry I missed you this last week, but we'll be talking. And we just wish you a great week.
Thank you too.
Thanks for, hey, congratulations for
Yeah.
coming tonight. Thanks.